Okay, I'm going to run you through some change of direction linear tempo combination that I do early, either off season or early pre-season. I get a lot of questions about this and how I normally run it. There's a lot of confusion. People always want to compare mass modalities to tempo modalities. Rather than doing direct comparison, I rather see problem solve and work out what my athletes aren't getting and how I can provide that. So with typical tempo linear stuff, we always start off extensive, which means not too much accumulation of byproducts that are going to fatigue you, and that's going to become intensive over time. Now with tempo runs, one of the beauties of it is that it allows you to work on rhythm, stiffness, coordination, linear mechanics in a fashion that's very springy. It's a lot different to mass running, where people are really tired and their running mechanics break down. So people think that tempo running is very easy, but the neuromuscular stress, the ground contacts, is a lot higher when compared to mass running. So mass running is going to have a high intensity on your heart, but tempo is going to have a higher intensity on the neuromuscular factors. Now, what I'm going to do is, early pre-season, traditionally drills are very slow. We're not getting very good change of direction either. So what we can do is we can combine these two methods together, and that way you're not spiking these high-speed meter metrics early pre-season, because some people get real worried about that. So you can slowly accumulate these high-speed meters with a combination of these different change of direction movements, because a lot of people are really lacking the efficiency and movement competency of these different movements. Not only does that get you more efficient at those movements, also builds the resiliency and robustness around areas like the groin, the butt, the calves, the quads, etc. So as the pre-season progresses, you can start making this more linear. You can take away the change of direction element, so then you're getting more high-speed meters throughout the pre-season period. Okay, if we're doing a drill in particular tempo, we have to look at what's the intensity, what's the duration, and what's the recovery. Okay, and that's going to dictate whether or not it's extensive or intensive. Now, 70% seems to be where a lot of coaches really like to work this intensity. To begin with, I like 15 to 20 seconds work. 70% is probably 70-second rolling clock, which means 50 seconds recovery. Will make it more extensive. And what we can do over time is remove 5 seconds each week. So then you're having a 65 seconds rolling clock, 60 seconds rolling clock, 55. And over time, that's going to make it more intensive. There's so many different ways we can do this. Okay, this is just one way I'm going to run you through today. This is a great precursor for small-sided games, because guys haven't really built up the resilience and the robustness before they do that. Now, with tempo, when we're doing it, what we're looking for is very good mechanics. So when the athlete's coming out of this change of direction work, what we want is looking at projection, we're looking at acceleration, coming into upright running. So we just think of an airplane, we're slowly rising, okay? Looking for nice stiffness, nice springy contacts, we're looking for good mechanics. Now smooth. Okay, that was just a different variety of change direction and stuff into linear mechanics. There's a lot of different stuff you can do. As I said, don't be scared to try new things, do your own things, see what works. People always asking me, oh, how many reps should I do, etc. I don't know, because I'm not sure what you're currently doing already. Okay, if it's the off season, it's a lot easier, because say we could just do 6 to 8 reps, rest a couple minutes, and do 3 sets of that, and then you can just keep increasing on it over time. But if you're pre-season in a club structure, it all depends on what you're doing that day with your club. You might have to adapt it. That's why you can either use GPS or use a thing called Coach's Eye, and work it out for yourself. Just use common sense. Okay, and now one other thing people always ask me is, how do I get buy-in? Especially with the extensive stuff. Sometimes the coach can see it and they might be standing around too much, because with tempo, extensive tempo, the resting recovery is a little bit longer. Now, if you're having that problem, what you can do is a couple of different methods, what I've done in the past, okay? What you can do is you can do some contact prep for say 10-15 seconds, okay? You can do some core work, or you can have some medicine ball work. Harry, come over here, mate. Thanks, this legend. Very good model. Okay, so what we can do, you do your run, and we're just going to do 10 pummels. We're in close, nice and close. Boom, 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 nice and close. Okay, that's right. Thanks, mate. You can do some. You can just do some medicine ball work with your partner, or you're throwing it, some slams. You can even do basic core work. You might do some planks one side. Okay. You might do some V-ups. Okay. There's a lot of different things that you can do. Okay. That way, the coach is going to see that you're going to increase work capacity in your upper body or your core, and it's not going to fatigue your legs. And then as you're reducing the recovery and it's becoming more intensive, you won't need to do that. But you've got a bunch of tackle prep work in there already. So thank you very much. Hope that helps. Quick shout out also to Keir Wenham-Flatt and Tom Farrow. I always had discussions with them in regards to his modalities. They do a lot of good things in regards to this as well. So yeah, I want to shout out to them as well for letting me share my ideas and talking to them about this kind of stuff as well.